Okay, so just the other day I was on the lookout for a new bargain driver, and I happen to think I've found the best driver that money can buy for under £100. Hear me out. You see guys, I'm a huge believer that golf is getting far too expensive, especially when we start talking about the latest and greatest product releases. I went to my friends at Golf Clubs for Cash and I was like, guys, I'm looking at building my dream set. I want something a little bit different. I don't just want a standard TaylorMade Stealth 2 Plus. I don't just want a standard Callaway Paradigm, a Ping G430, or even a Cobra Aerojet LS. And the guys at Golf Clubs for Cash are like, you know what, James, we've got the perfect thing for you. Honestly, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, that looks stunning. This, I mean, it's purple. That's all I need to tell you about it. Feel that grip and we'll set you back less than £100. Wow. And you see, I've actually been using this on the low key for a couple of days now and I've really enjoyed it. Today we're going to test it out here on the golf course, really put it through its paces, both on some difficult tee shots and on the GolfZone simulator to see just what numbers we can generate compared to maybe a Paradigm Triple Diamond. And for a fifth of the price, is that the dream? That is the perfect tee shot down this 18th hole. It felt fantastic, it sounded awesome, and to be honest, I challenge you to find a better looking driver than this Honma 430 TW727. Okay, the name could do with some work, but aside from that, I think this is an absolute steal at £96.95. Right, I'm gonna have to see if I can hit another one of those, because the only problem is it's 10.5 degree. But I feel like that's actually giving me a little bit more kind of consistency and accuracy. That's exactly the same, just a little bit higher. Right, I've been struggling with driver all this time this year. Has the answer been sat in Golf Clubs for Cash Warrington all summer for less than £100? That's two drivers exactly the same. If we hit a third here, then surely we have to have a conversation about what driver is staying in James's bag for 2023. I need to talk to you about the shaft and grip combination because it's absolutely delightful. Right, come on, one more. Right, this is getting silly now. This is getting silly. That's 3 fairways out of 3. Let's keep talking. I just love a bargain. Love it. So guys, do me a favour, if you are new here, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. If you enjoy daily golf videos, make sure you do tell all your friends and throw a like on this video. Let me know as well in the comments section below, what driver are you currently using? How much did it cost? Were you fitted for it? Or did you just try it in a net, try it on a simulator, or just try it on the golf course and think, you know what, that's the ball flight I want, I'm keeping this in play. I don't care if there's a driver out here that could potentially get me another 10 or 15 yards. Because you look at the consistency levels of the drives I've just hit here, and well, it's a lot better. I mean, that was the best one by far. That was actually the second one. This was the third one in the middle of the fairway, a little bit higher. The first one took a bit of a bad bounce, but I'm still taking it all day. Front to back dispersion, I don't mind that as a triangle whatsoever. To say that my drives are usually a bit like the Bermuda Triangle, to get lost. So as you can imagine, I have done a little bit of research on this Honma TW727 driver, and there were lots of different models. I've got the 430 model, there was a 455 model, a 460 model. You can imagine lots of different models for lots of different demographics, I suppose you could say. And when this was first released back in 2016, yes, that's right, 2016, this is nearly 8 years old, like it's knocking on 10 years old. There were lots of different reviews about it. A lot of people thought it sounded a little bit boisterous, which kind of sticks to my mind. But real quick one, guys, and you'll find this really interesting if you're enjoying this video, because since filming it I've actually managed to find more information on them. So the TW727 430 driver was designed for faster, stronger players who swung more aggressively and wanted a lower spin, so more a Tour Pro one. Then the 455, that's a little bit bigger, and that is part of the W Forge range, and that does feature a 2 gram lighter forge face in order to expand the sweet spot. an improved feel. We then move up to the 455S, again, different driver. You can see that is designed again with that forged face. It bridges the gap between the 455 and the 460, a slightly lower CG. We then move up and we move to the 460 model. So again, slightly different model. You can see this has a weight more towards the heel. So this is designed to stabilize spin and give tighter dispersion. Very, very interesting. I'm glad I found all this in. Realistically, I like the sound of it. I like the fact that when you absolutely rip it, it sounds like this. Like, that sounds as good as any modern day driver to me. To say there's no carbon in here, this is all kind of old school technology. You'll see we've got a weight in the center there. The CG's pushed forward a tiny bit because this is the smaller headed model. I really, really like this. I love how traditional it looks, but I suppose you could say it looks traditional, you could say it's just old. 2016. I mean, what was around in 2016? Was that original M1, M2? Maybe just after that, maybe M3? I think it was around that, wasn't it? But I love the look of the face. I love the grooves on the face as well. It just gives it that kind of traditional look. And I also like the fact that if I want to, so you saw that first drive go nice and high down the right side, but it's also quite workable. So if I want to play a low one, I can play that knuckleball down the middle of the fairway. Even with it being 10.5 degree, that ball's going to run forever. That's because it is the smaller head shape. I spoke to you earlier about the grip and the shaft combination as well. So it's got actually a thick grip on it. It's a calmer grip. I love the way this feels. I'm not sure if this is partly why I've fallen in love so much with this driver. Shaft wise, it is a purple shaft. It is 430 number, length 45.25, 10.5 degree loft, 65 gram stiff, and it is a D2 balance. It's Honma's own Vizard shaft, and it's made in Japan. So that's really all you do need to know. Is this something which is a steal, is an absolute bargain of a find, or is it something just because I've never heard of it, I saw it and thought, wow, Honma, I thought that would have been more expensive? Because back in the day, Honma was well known as being one of the more affluent golf brands, one of the more expensive, exuberant golf brands. Whereas now, we just know that Justin Rose tried it and didn't really like it, don't we? Let's see if we can hit another fairway with this. The more I look down at it, the more I absolutely love it. Honestly, it feels like a bullet. That is awesome. I said earlier we were going to talk numbers. Let's jump in the GolfSong Simulator. Let's see just how this does perform in relation to a brand new modern day Callaway Paradigm Triple Diamond, which I'll be honest is fitted in my specs. This isn't fitted in my specs. This is off the shelf here in Golf Clubs for Cash. But you might be surprised as to how it stacks up. So a very interesting matchup here, and I must admit, I think if I had my time again, I would put it against a 10.5 similar driver head. It's almost not really a fair test, testing it against, let's face it, what is probably the best low spin driver of 2023. You can see I nearly getting one up to 300 yards there with the Paradigm Triple Diamond, carrying 275-ish, which I usually get. Then we put the Honma in, and I really enjoyed this, to be honest. I did get some really nice strikes with it. The ones that I managed to keep down, I managed to get up there towards kind of 280. It wasn't carrying as far as the Triple Diamond. It was spinning a little bit more, quite obviously. And even trying to manipulate that ball flight, I kind of struggled really to keep it down and really get that penetration. You can see, not bad ball speeds actually. It was more the spin rate that let it down. 500 RPM more spin rate and 6 yard carry difference. What do you think to the price though, guys? Because at 271 yard carry average, I think this is an absolute steal at £96.99. So pretty interesting numbers there. It was always going to be lagging ever so slightly behind, wasn't it? Let's jump out here. Let's jump on the 17th hole, one of the hardest golf holes on the golf course. Let's hit one of the Honmas, one of the Paradigms, and see just how much difference there is, real world scenario, when it counts on, for me, the hardest hole on the course. Okay, it is time. You see, I just wouldn't expect this Honma driver to keep up with, especially the Paradigm Triple Diamond, because let's face it, this is the best driver of 2023 if you want that kind of low spin, really long distance driver. But if you do want a tee that first of all goes in the ground and then a driver that's a fifth of the price and gives you a bit more forgiveness, could this be an option of all options? especially if you're delving into that second-hand market. Well, let's be honest, more and more golfers are shopping now because they're finding a heck of a lot more value for money and starting to realise that the latest and greatest isn't necessarily that much latest and that much greatest, but it is that much more expensive. Right, one shot and one shot only. I hate this hole. The wind's off the right as well, so we're just going to aim down the right side. Just stay there and that's perfect. Stay there. That's borderline. That's took a kick left. I did anticipate it would do that on the line it was on. Not bad distance. I'm happy with the ball flight. That spin rate would have been around between 2.5 and 3,000, I think. It's not a low spin driver, especially with 10.5 degrees of loft. Right, Paradigm, slightly longer in shaft. Is it? I feel like it is, just from holding them. No, it's not, it's the same. The same shaft, low spin head. Again, aim down that right side and just hit it. See, this is where I do feel like modern drivers just feel a little bit more solid. Like that definitely feels like it's carrying a lot further. Is the Paradigm literally the best driver of all time with that new carbon chassis? Let's get down there and check out what the differences are. So while we get down here, guys, just a huge thank you to everyone that is supporting the channel so far. If you are enjoying it and you're not subscribed yet, just do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 250,000 subscribers, and I feel like I've been saying that forever. I'd love you to be a part of it. Invite a friend if you think they would enjoy golf related videos, and check out the results of this test. I said earlier, it's very important to get driver numbers. It's very important to see how much ball speed you can get, how much spin rate you can get. But realistically, when it comes to the crunch, how important are those numbers? Are they as important as the figure that you're handing over on your credit card? Because if we look here, we have the Paradigm driver nicely in the fairway. That's probably a really good drive for me on this hole, actually. And we have the Honma. Yes, it's in the rough, but that is exactly the same distance from the tee that we hit from up there. Guys, get in the comments below. Am I just being a hopeless romantic? Is this a fantastic driver I've found at our friends Golf Clubs for Cash for less than £100? If you think so, guys, go and check out their Instagram. Huge things coming with them very, very soon. But apart from that, I'll see you all exactly the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.